Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the JNF Alexander Muz High School in Israel radio station located here in Hod HaSharon, Israel, where we have a very special guest joining us today. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Ron Werner from Denver, Colorado, a Muz alum from 1982.
Whoa, that was much more information than we asked for, but it's information for us to try to, dissect.
All great information.
So Ron Werner from Denver, 1982 alumnus.
You were in diapers when I was here.
I was 7 years old.
Okay.
I hope I was out of diapers at 7.
I hope you were out of diapers.
Were you out of diapers at 7, Jake?
I wasn't even born. I was born in 93.
Jake didn't ever even use diapers. He was just like coming. Anyway, but let's get back to why we're here. So we have Ron Werner here from Denver, Colorado. Ron has very much involved with our program here, but I don't want to talk too much about his history. I want to talk about the present and the future. Ron, yes, okay, what? 1982 alumnus, changed your life, your family's life, your parents' involvement and engagement in Israel, right?
As we say, it's a transformative experience because it is.
So a transformative experience that has brought you, let's fast forward to this point in time, where you currently serve as president of the Mountain States region for JNF.
Correct.
And you were also very instrumental in the merger of JNF USA and the Alexander Muz High School in Israel.
Absolutely. I was a big advocate from the Muz side.
Mm-hmm.
And during the time of that, my father was the chair of Muz and was part of signing off on the agreement to merge Muz into JNF to really build for a joint future.
Amazing. So
Awesome.
Let's just jump right into it. There was concern by others about the merger. Why should we not? We don't want to hear that story. We want to hear about why you felt so strongly about the merger and voted for the merger and helped it go through.
It's really simple. From 40 years ago, when Muz was created out of the Miami-Dade Jewish Federation, with the idea that Jewish kids were assimilating too much, they weren't learning in the Jewish educational system. Whatever that system was and available for people, it was an afterthought. And this program was created that I like to say simply teaches everything that we fail to teach in our Jewish Sunday school system back in America. And whether they come for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 16 weeks, we can teach our history, we can inculcate values, we can prepare students to be better students when they're in college, better human beings, and better Jews. And we happen to know that when we look at our alumni, or as I like to call it, the secret society of Muz, because there's Muz alumni all over the place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And right.
I definitely don't know about anything.
I don't know anything about this alumni. Okay.
And that's the problem. So you're at a conference somewhere, and you meet someone who's the president of a JCC, or the president of their synagogue, or the vice chair of a federation in a town, and what's the one thing they all have in common? They're alumni of Muz, except they don't know it, because no one ever kept up with it and no one ever talked about it. What it tells us is that the Alexander Muz High School in Israel creates the future Jewish leaders and people who are mindful of their Jewishness, who care about the future of Judaism, who care about the future of Jews, who care about the future of Israel. These are things that are important to us.
And why is that so important to this merger with JNF? Why was it important for AMHSI to join up with JNF and vice versa?
HSI delivered the single greatest Israel education experience. It was not so good at the raising money to keep itself going, and it was not so good at marketing itself and getting enough students. JNF is one of the most amazing Jewish organizations that has ever existed. 115-year history, dating back to Herzl. Involved in the building of the State of Israel, in acquiring the land of the State of Israel, in planting 250 million trees in the State of Israel. All incredible things. JNF is a lean, mean fighting machine. It operates efficiently. It's a great fundraiser. Brilliant marketers. It delivers all sorts of things, from the ecology to community building to caring for the disabled. Within the JNF portfolio, it was actually lacking one key ingredient, an ingredient that is part of the core of Judaism and is required for future Jewish success. That's education. In particular, Zionist youth education. touching our kids in junior high school and in high school, teaching our kids before they're in college, before they're affected by the difficulties on college campuses in America and actually beyond America today. MUS provides the answer.
Mm-hmm.
We educate our kids, we help our kids mature, we inculcate Jewish values, we prepare them for the collegiate experience academically and with what they're going to face on campus. We make Israel and Jewishness important, so they're more likely to be involved with Hillel on campus, APAC on campus, post-college to be involved in JNF Futures and be active in the things that we do.
Definitely.
We transform lives and we make a difference.
Right. You know, we know as for a fact, actually, through surveys of our alumni, we have, you know, been around for 44 years, 24,000 alumni. You are among, of course, our alumni and proof of the trajectory and impact that our program has. But when you go around to the general Jewish population, even those who are involved in the Jewish world, and you talk about Alexander High School, not everyone's heard of it.
Most people haven't.
And that's kind of disconcerting.
They say, the Alexander what?
Right.
And again, that's part of how Alexander MUS High School in Israel came to meet and became part of JNF. Because by being part of a larger organization, a strong organization, a financially healthy organization, the high school now has the ability not just to survive, but to flourish. So our goal, you know, today we see about 1,000, 1,200 students a year come through campus. Within 5 years, we want to touch 5,000 students a year.
Wow.
Think about the mass of that.
Wow.
So when we get to that point, it then means when we look forward a decade, we will affect 50,000 lives.
And why is that important? Why is it important that we grow our numbers? Why is it important that we reach out to as many high school Jews? And I ask this kind of rhetorically. I know the answer, but I'm not sure everyone else gets it. Why do we have to get as many kids as possible to Israel? What is it about this place? Has the day school system failed? I mean, what's going on in the Jewish world today that we're focused on this number of 5,000?
Well, Israel's magical. An Israel experience is the most amazing gift that a young Jewish person can have. Our world today and our world in America today is very different than it used to be. We are no longer yearning for Zion. The Western Wall used to be known as the Wailing Wall because we wailed and cried because we didn't have access to it. We can now go there anytime we want. Any Jew anywhere in the world can come and live in Israel without resistance.
That's it.
However, because that's, in a sense, so simple, when you don't have to work for something, when you're not crying for it, when you're not yearning for it, you take it for granted, and you don't understand its significance and its importance.
Absolutely.
Very important, very important.
It's our obligation because we know that we have to teach those who will be our future generation and make sure that our 6,000 years of history has the ability to be 7,000 and 10,000 and 12,000 years.
That's right.
That we should not be forgotten.
That's right.
That we have survived because we've stuck together as a clan. Education's been important. This is education that's important.
And Israel is at its center, right? I mean, Israel is the beating heart of the Jewish people, right? It's got to be. And unless you've experienced that here in Israel, then you really don't know.
You don't know what it is until you're here.
That's right.
Many years ago, Yitzhak Rabin was speaking to a GA.
For all of our audience members, what is a GA?
GA is like the greatest gathering of Jews in the world.
What does it stand for? General Assembly.
GA of Jews.
That's it. Yes, okay.
And he stands up in front of everyone and he says, we need to bring 50,000 American youth to Israel. And I think he meant like bring 50,000 every year. Well, we can be part of that if we bring 5,000 every year. Why did he say it? Because he knew, as a leader of Israel and as a Jewish leader, that having the Jewish experience in Israel is life-changing.
That's right.
Definitely.
The difference between what we do at MUS and other experiences, and there are great experiences out there, and I'm in favor of any way, anyhow that we get anybody to Israel. The difference with what we do is we teach within a sense of experience. we inculcate and mix education and experience, classroom and country. The country becomes the classroom. We have a secret sauce. We call it must magic. That's our secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way that our lessons are remembered. So here I'm a guy who was a student 34 years ago. I can write an itinerary for anyone coming to Israel.
Mm.
I can walk the streets of Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or be in Sede Boker at Ben Gurion's grave, and I can recite lessons chapter and verse.
Mm.
Is it because I'm so smart or I have the memory of an elephant?
Mm.
I don't think so. I think I'm just an ordinary guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was affected by an extraordinary program
Mm-hmm.
that had a teaching method
Mm-hmm.
that taught me in a way where I was inspired, I was turned on, and I can remember.
You internalized the information. It became a part of you, right? Not just knowledge, but a wisdom of the heart.
I live it, and I breathe
That's right.
it.
That's
and,
right.
and it's a passion.
That's right.
But I'm not unique.
Mm.
I'm not 1 in 24,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of 24,000.
25.
25, right? We're
That's
growing.
right.
It's
We're
another
growing
year.
every year. That's right. So let me ask you. Let me ask you then, with putting time into consideration here. But I want to ask you if you can tell us on one foot: is Zionism still alive? Because you said the yearning for Zion is in a different state today, right? We have Zion. So what is Zionism today, if so?
Zionism is still alive.
What does it mean?
Zionism is the belief in the Jewish people, the belief in our homeland, Eretz Yisrael.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much alive.
Mm-hmm.
I see it on the streets here.
Mm-hmm.
I see it on the streets in Denver.
Awesome.
I see it. I have retail stores in Denver, and I have a JNF blue box that sits on my counter in my stores. And I see people come in and they put coins on it.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then I go and pick up the box just to check, and I'm like, oh, it's getting heavy.
Uh-huh.
It tells me Zionism is alive.
Mm-hmm.
People care about Judaism, Jewishness, and the land of Israel.
That's right.
We have to help people understand why it's that much more important,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to provide them the resources so they too can be advocates.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that brings us the success.
So Zionism really is this platform enabling our people worldwide to find their place in this roundtable of Jewish continuity, engagement, conversation, and planning for our future. It's amazing. And for all of our viewers back home and wherever you are around the world, hi. We really want to thank you, Ron, for joining us here on campus. We know that you have a busy schedule and that you've come. You actually accompanied Nefesh B'Nefesh flight, which must have been an experience that was extraordinary. Nefesh B'Nefesh, another JNF partner, and once again, JNF USA really serving as a platform for so many initiatives, whether it's infrastructure, building,
Making Aliyah.
making Aliyah,
Just a mind-boggling amount of things.
education, of course, which is high on its priority because it acknowledges the need to invest in our next generation. So we really want to thank you for taking the time and joining us here on campus. Any departing words, a few words you want to share before we sign off?
Well, it's more than a pleasure to be here. I'm excited every time I come to Israel, and particularly campus. I'm excited to represent JNF, whether as being the president in the Mountain States based in Denver, or on the national board and on the MUST national board. JNF is an incredible organization because it represents all things Israel, all things Jewish, with the single goal of caring for the Jewish people in the state of Israel.
That's right.
And understanding that we do it in many, many different ways, and MUST, Zionist Youth Education, being a very key and important mission of ours.
Indeed. Otherwise, the merger would have never happened if it wasn't the case. So we want to thank you again, Ron Werner, for joining us here on campus. It's always a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to you joining us next time with some more information and maybe even goals and aspirations moving forward. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us. Once again, this is the JNF Alexander Muss High School in Israel radio show coming at you from Hod HaSharon, Israel. Till next time.